students, and welcome to another exciting English animation class. And this evening we're going to learn something totally new about animation, and it is more of application of animation, and that has been done through something called motion graphics. So that is almost where you can see where graphic design gets implemented with motion, and it's quite an interesting field, and that is normally used more for commerce than any of the previous animation styles that we looked at. And there are also various types and takes on motion graphics, and yes, so the best to get to know about it is to actually see the different methods in action. So let's dive into our lesson.
Motion graphics. Today we are going to look more at the commercial side of animation. Here we go. What is motion? In physics, motion is the change in the position of an object over time. Motion can be described mathematically in terms of displacement, distance, velocity, acceleration, speed, and time. Pushing a block is an example of linear motion. Opening a door is an example of rotation. Rotating a stone with a thread attached is an example of a circular motion. Absolute motion cannot be determined, as there is no absolute frame of reference. What is motion graphics? Motion graphics are pieces of animation or digital footage with text as a significant component, which creates the illusion of motion or rotation, usually combined with audio for multimedia projects. Motion graphics is a creative way to help communicate a message to viewers and add depth to the story, together with music and compelling narration. Motion graphics distinguish still graphics from those with a transforming appearance over time, without oversimplifying the form, while any form of exceptional or abstract animation can be called motion graphics. The term typically more explicitly refers to the commercial application of animation and effects to video, film, TV, and interactive applications. Motion graphics are usually displayed via electronic media technology, but may also be manually powered technology. As example, the Theatrope, Zoetrope, and Flipbook that we made earlier in the semester are examples of motion graphics in a manual form. Essentially, motion graphics is animated graphic design. Ever since motion graphics first entered the scene, there has been a debate about the line between motion graphics and full animation. The opening credits of Hitchcock's Psycho is an early example of motion graphics, where the marriage of sound, motion, and graphic design come together exceptionally well. Let us watch the intro. The motion effects in the graphics surely makes the site titles more interesting to watch than just text flying over the screen in a long row.
For your audience must be impressed, or you're wasting your breath.
Now we know what motion graphics is, and now we will focus on differences between motion graphics and animation. The difference between motion graphics and animation. The difference is such a challenging difference to define, since there's a very fine, often invisible line that divides both of them. Motion graphics describe moving or animated graphic design, making it a type of animation. Animation is an umbrella term for the whole field of moving imagery, including everything from cartoons to claymation. Motion graphics focus on giving movement to graphic design elements that tend to have less of a particular storytelling aspect than other types of animation. Whether or not there's a story is a significant determining factor in deciding if you are dealing with motion graphics or animation. The terms are interchangeable, and the distinguishing is not always completely black and white. Let's look at motion graphics. Motion graphics are the crossroads between animation and graphic design. Motion graphics come as a type of animation. It is a digital technique that usually features fundamental design elements like shapes, pictures, words, sounds, videos, objects, typology, illustrations, logos, or composition set in motion to present information to the viewer. Motion graphics take graphic designs that would be otherwise static and give them animation and movement, usually without following a specific narrative. Want the bars in your graph to move for some extra visual flair? Want the logo on the website to spin around? And the added movement is, broadly speaking, animation, but more specifically it's a type of animation called motion graphics. Motion graphics can illustrate complex ideas visually. Thinking of motion graphics as a visual aid, especially for big or abstract ideas that are hard to explain with words or still images. However, with the element of motion, everything can be cleared up entirely in a few seconds. The visual style of motion graphics appeals to a wide range of viewers. Cartoons may come across as too childish for formal business. However, motion graphics can be used that cute and funny style and applying it to more mature topics. No matter the industry, motion graphics can make any message look more engaging and entertaining. Animation. Animation is the broader umbrella term that includes motion graphics. Animation has a history dating back more than 100 years. Animation as a specific art form focuses more on cinematic effects and storytelling techniques to craft a narrative. The definition of animation can be the creation of moving objects, characters, and scenes from scratch using various techniques. Any technique that makes static objects or images move is animation, whether it's hand-drawn cartoons, CGI, anime, claymation, or motion graphics. These categories are not mutually exclusive. Most motion graphics are done with CGI, but you could theoretically do hand-draw animation motion graphics as well. Think of it like this. If a video sets in motion to illustrate a point, it would be called motion graphics. If a video features a human character that goes on an emotional journey, it's more likely to be called animation. Animation is used for stories that can bring characters to life with emotional narratives, creativity, and artistic expression. Anyone who's seen a Pixar film knows that animation can be a powerful storytelling medium. Motion graphics can bring statistical data to life. Animation is more expensive as one starts looking at photorealistic CGI, hand-drawn or painted artwork, and stop-motion techniques. Expect to invest more money. Motion graphics are usually easier to produce. It's less complicated form of animation. Animation has more of a general purpose and can serve many goals, while motion graphics, however diverse they can get, really serve the principal purpose of conveying a message through the alteration and movement of specific visual design elements. The history of motion graphics. Since there is no universally accepted definition of motion graphics, the official beginning of the art form is under dispute. There have been presentations that could be classified as motion graphics as early as the 1800s. Michael Betancourt wrote the first in-depth historical survey of the field. He is arguing for its foundations in visual music and the abstract historical films of the 1920s by Walter Rutterman, Hans Richter, Viking Engling, and Oskar Flitzner. Johnny Whitney, one of the fathers of computer animation, was one of the first to use the term motion graphics in 1960 when he founded Motion Graphics Inc. in order to create motion picture and television title sequences through his own mechanical analog computer intervention. The history of graphics is closely related to the history of computer graphics. As the new developments of computer-generated graphics led to more large-scale use of motion design, not based on optical film animation, the term motion graphics originated with digital video editing in computing, perhaps to keep pace with newer technology. Computer software like Adobe After Effects and Apple Motion made editing images a much simpler and faster process. Motion graphics are highly popular nowadays in commercials, news shows, sporting events, and online videos. Types of motion graphics. Motion graphics is the term used for all different types of graphic movements, including 3D elements, cell animation, stop animation, digital video, film, and many other types of moving graphics. Uses of motion graphics. Motion graphics are a way to communicate with the viewer and add depth to the story. Together with music and a compelling story, they can give us a message. Motion graphics are seen massively throughout this very media-orientated world we live in, making the list of available sources to see motion graphics massive. We use them to create ads, title and credit sequences with text as a significant component. Of these are the beginning and ending of the film or game. The opening credits are to entice the viewer into the upcoming adventures of the movie or game. In many cases, these are the most crucial part of the movie as they grab the viewer's attention and give them a sneak preview of what is to come. The most memorable opening title sequence has to be James Bond with his intro. For some DVD interfaces where all the menus are displayed, these can range in many different styles. Nevertheless, they all follow the same concept of having all the menus applicable to the DVD. Within this interface, all graphics held within the background have to be relevant to the film. Animated captions are typography. Typography meaning the style, color, and how the font sits. Typography animation can take so many different ways, like becoming objects, merging into other words, and merging behind objects such as smoke. Here's an example. Motion graphics are used a lot in TV, indents, and stings. Branding. Broadcast channel La EFA were looking to refresh their brand, something that would set them apart from other Sky channels. The new design by Nardo Creative Studio is a melt of high-end art magazine-like styles, cherry-picked from the history of graphic design, with a strong emphasis on typography. We think it's fair to say you don't see something like this on television every day. Look at Alfalfa's branding motion graphic. Very eye-catchy, and it keeps your attention the whole time. Television title sequences. The main title sequence for HBO's True Detective is an excellent example of well thought out visuals mixed with restrained typography. The bleak landscape reflects the characters' inner lives and illustrate the story, a toxic swamp of damaged people. In an interview for the art of the title, creative director Patrick Clare described the importance of the story in the design process. He said, "The story is always the most fundamental part of our design process." Let us watch the True Detective's title sequence.
From the dusty mesa, a looming shadow grows, hidden in the branches of the poison creosote. She twines her spines up slowly towards the boiling sun, and when I touched her skin, my fingers ran with blood. When the last light warms the rocks and the rattlesnakes unfold,
Mountain cats will come to drag away the bones.
then runs the bleed
Next we'll look at storytelling. Let us watch a video before we continue.
All I can see are blue skies and not a cloud inside. You are the brightest sunrise. You fill my days with light. Open your eyes. Step into the sun. Open your eyes. 'Cause we've only just begun. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful
Put on your race face.
When you are weak and weary, I will protect your heart. Give you myself sincerely. We won't be torn apart. Open your eyes. Step into the sun. Open your eyes. 'Cause we've only just begun. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful. It's a
Put on your race face.
This video proves that one can use motion graphics to create an entire music video. The graphics itself tell a separate story that complements the song, the same way other music videos do. One can use motion graphics to create an ad or even make a short film. Create awareness. Motion graphics awareness creation is all about the story. There is no need for color or fancy designs to share something that matters. Sometimes the most straightforward designs can illustrate a story more directly, while keeping the integrity of the story intact. Let's watch the clip Creating Awareness of Women.
Look at the world today. What do you see? The largest youth population in history, most in developing countries. The spread of conflict and instability from isolated pockets to whole regions. And a swiftly growing population that must be fed. How do we address global challenges in a rapidly changing world? By empowering women and girls. Investing in women and girls accelerates progress in every area. When girls have access to education and technology, they can learn more and earn more, pulling themselves and their families out of poverty. When women have equal rights and opportunities as peace builders and leaders, peace agreements cover more ground and last longer. And when women have control of resources, land, and markets, they can play a vital role in helping to feed a hungry planet. From climate change to extreme poverty, women are proving they're ready to transform the world. We cannot solve the world's problems without women, period. The way forward is clear. To meet the challenges of the future, we need to empower women and girls now. It is one of the smartest investments we can make, and we can't afford to wait.
So here we can see how great motion graphics can make us aware of a potential problem. In this case, women and girls need empowerment. Explaining a concept. Motion graphics are great for creating powerful explainer videos. The ITFT uses motion graphics to illustrate their points and show the blockchain in action. It is an efficient way to support a concept because it can help the viewer visualize it in a way a presentation cannot. Let's watch the motion graphic about the blockchain.
When you vote, have you ever wondered whether your ballot is actually counted? If you meet someone online, how do you know they're who they say they are? When you buy coffee that's labeled fair trade, what makes you so certain of its origin? To be sure, really sure, about any of those questions, you'd need a system where records could be stored, facts could be verified by anyone, and security is guaranteed. That way, no one could cheat the system by editing records, because everyone using the system would be watching. Systems like this are on the horizon, and the software that powers them is called a blockchain. Blockchains store information across a network of personal computers, making them not just decentralized, but distributed. This means no central company or person owns the system, yet everyone can use it and help run it. This is important because it means it's difficult for any one person to take down the network or corrupt it. The people who run the system use their computer to hold bundles of records submitted by others, known as blocks, in a chronological chain. The blockchain uses a form of math called cryptography to ensure that records can't be counterfeited or changed by anyone else. You've probably heard of the blockchain's first killer app, a form of digital cash called Bitcoin that you can send to anyone, even a complete stranger. Bitcoin is different from credit cards, PayPal, or other ways to send money because there isn't a bank or financial middleman involved. Instead, people from all over the world help move the digital money by validating others' Bitcoin transactions with their personal computers, earning a small fee in the process. Bitcoin uses the blockchain by tracking records of ownership over this digital cash, so only one person can be the owner at a time and the cash can't be spent twice, like counterfeit money in the physical world can. But Bitcoin is just the beginning for blockchains. In the future, blockchains that manage and verify online data could enable us to launch companies that are entirely run by algorithms, making self-driving cars safer, help us protect our online identities, and even track the billions of devices on the Internet of Things. These innovations will change our lives forever, and it's all just beginning. To learn more about the urgent future of the blockchain, please visit iftf.org/blockchainfutureslab.
Here we could see the power of motion graphics simplicity in explaining quite a challenging concept. Product videos. Product videos can be a great way to get one's product in front of customers and increase sales. Motion graphics can help create fun, entertaining and engaging product videos. They are cheaper to produce than full animation and bring something a little different to the table, like this video from Lavit.
Welcome to Lavit. Lavit transforms water into pure wonder, crafting cold, still, and sparkling beverages on demand just for you. Lavit drinks are vitamin-rich and always 10 calories or less. Drinks are free of preservatives and only made with all-natural flavors. See, every beverage is made from the easy-to-recycle Lavit aluminum capsule. And for every capsule consumed, Lavit helps provide clean drinking water to those who need it most. But how does it work? It's as easy as the touch of a button. Choose if you'd like a delicious Lavit beverage or simply water, still or sparkling. For a beverage, pop in your Lavit capsule and follow the on-screen instructions. Enjoy your drink. Enjoy Lavit.
Well, after watching the infomercial of that nice drink and the selection, you can select water, and my glass is empty, makes me very thirsty. Maybe I'll pause, pour myself a glass of water and continue. When to use motion graphics versus animation. When to use motion graphics. Motion graphics are best for outlining or emphasizing facts and illustrating a point you are trying to make. Motion graphics are useful when there is no need for narrative or storytelling. Motion graphic videos can break down your complex service or products, presenting them in a way that is easy to remember. Remember, motion graphics are at the core visual aids, so they excel at teaching hard to understand ideas through visuals. When to use animation techniques. If one wants to highlight the emotional aspects of a story, provide a narrative, or connect with your audience on an emotional level, you want to go with other kinds of animation, not motion graphics. Stories help establish a deeper connection with the target audience. Other types of animation are better suited for creating these kinds of narratives. Motion graphics is basically marketing in motion. Benefits of motion graphics. Amidst the technological advantages we now have, including the improvement of internet bandwidth, motion graphics are becoming more advanced. This means high quality and high resolution graphics for advertising with animation and special effects. Motion graphics may be the way to draw visitors to one's website and maintain their interest longer. Seeing internet users suffer from an ever-shortening attention span. Motion graphics can display different images and use video and audio to give a bigger picture. So by engaging their eyes and ears, motion graphics or infographics can be more memorable and efficient than a single image. A simple chart, text banner, or infographic. Motion graphics are a great way to communicate essential information that may be too complex to present in a single image by dumbing down the less than comprehensive details into understandable bytes of information. In doing so, motion graphics condense a great deal of information into a short and visual appealing presentation, communicating a tremendous amount of information in a short amount of time, decreasing the risk that the prospective customer will miss a call to action because they have skipped through portions of a longer video. This brings our lesson on motion graphics to an end.
Wow, now we have looked through many different types of motion graphics, and just for a short summary, let's look at this clip.
This is motion. This is graphics. Put motion and graphics together. You get motion graphics. Nope. So how does motion graphic actually works? First, you come up with a story or a message you want to deliver. Turn them into graphic images by using illustrations, 3D, maybe some collage, every visual element you can think of. Second, add a timeline to it. Each frame must comply with the principles of graphic design. For example, set up the layout, select the typeface, remember to adjust the kerning, and pick a color palette. Next, the most important part is to make the dynamic design smooth. Last but not least, a great sound design. Now your story is clear and ready to go. This is motion graphics.
Okay, now you know everything there is to know about motion graphics. Do head over to our short assignment and have a great day, and see you on Thursday.
Thank you for listening to the lecture on motion graphics.